What's going on, everybody? This is TAETRO with a different kind of video today. Today's video is the Q&A and also some announcements for you guys. I received a few messages, mostly anonymous, on Tumblr, but if you're interested in getting your questions answered, you can go to taetro.com/ask. The first question says, what instrument did you start with? I think the first instrument I started with was trumpet in school because that was my school band instrument. Right around the same time I started teaching myself guitar. Next question says, when did you start getting interested in music and when did you start some of your first projects? I was interested in music at a pretty young age. My brother played in bands, rock bands and things like that. I kind of always had this idea of like being a rock star, that sort of thing. Getting up on stage, performing, always wanted to be like a singer in a band. I was always pretty interested in being a musician at a pretty young age. And then I started taking it a little bit more seriously, thinking about music school and things like that. I first started making my own music probably when I was in high school, and I started writing songs and just recording my own music on my laptop. I really like pop, acoustic stuff. You can still find some of it on the internet. And that was my first real experience with like audio production and writing. And then I started to get more into instrumental music, which included electronic music, but also included some orchestral writing and things like that. I wanted to be a film scorer for a little while. But I always knew I wanted to create my own music. I never really wanted to go out and play other people's music, which I did for a while, and sometimes it's fun, but the most fun I have making music is creating my own music. Next two questions are pretty deep, and I don't know how far into them we'll get, but I'll try my best. Do you think it's possible to make music for a living in this oversaturated market? Yes, I do. I also think we're in the golden age for you to get your music out in front of people. It used to be like super competitive with record labels kind of being in charge of everything. And now we're in charge of our own distribution. We're getting in front of the same audiences that some of the larger artists are getting in front of. Second part of that question, and also what are your advices? What's your advice for someone who wants to succeed in this sector? And they say, thanks, keep doing your job. Advice for someone who wants to succeed in the music industry. Start thinking of new ways to get your music out there. I think we get caught up in ways of like, oh, we're gonna release an album and then we're gonna play shows, and that's super traditional way of being successful as a musician, and it's not really a 21st century way of being a successful musician. You can use the internet, I can use social media to get people interested in music beyond just your music. Like, they want to know about you, your brand, your personality, that sort of thing. Someone asked what's hidden in the vault of glass. I know where the sixth chest is. I deleted the video and I'll never show anybody. Alright, so the deepest question I saved for the end. Is life as a musician all you ever thought it would be? The quick answer to that question is no, absolutely not. Life as a musician is totally different than what I thought it would be, but you have to also ask, when was I thinking about what life as a musician was? Like when I was in high school, when I was in college, like right now. In the last maybe 5-6 years, when I've started to take music a little bit more seriously as my career, music has changed a lot. Music technology has changed a lot. Accessibility has changed a lot. Social media has changed so much over those few years, and it's impossible for being a musician to be the same thing that I thought it was even a year or two ago. Now, I used to think that I would go out on tour and play shows for people, and that would be the life as a performing musician, but now my life is sort of like a studio life where I'm just creating constantly from my own place and able to put content out that way rather than having to go out and find someone to give content to. Also, I've embraced the position of like a teaching artist, and I used to think those were two totally different things. So I'm a teacher and I'm an artist, but those aren't separate things. In college, it was very like divided. You either had to be a teacher or you had to be a performer. And now I've sort of embraced the fact that if I'm a good artist outside of my teaching life, I'll be a better teacher. So that's kind of how my philosophy on being a musician has shifted. Thank you guys for all submitting questions. Now I have some big announcements for you guys. First announcement, I'm gonna start streaming live. So from the studio, I'm making some beats, working on projects, and I'm gonna start streaming that live. And for now, I'm gonna start on Sunday morning. Sunday mornings at 9 Eastern time. So if you want kind of a look into my production style and some of the things I'm working on, stop by the channel and there'll be a live stream up every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Second announcement, you might have seen some really crazy stuff going on over at taetro.com, some weird fonts, some weird photos. There's something big coming, and it's a music video. I've been working on original music, and the first single and music video will be out October 25th. That's this coming week. So stay tuned to the channel, stay tuned to Facebook for all the details on that. But I think you guys are really gonna like what is coming out. The last thing is I hope everybody has gotten a chance to see the new video featuring the Newmark Orbit. And the surprise in there is that there's a contest where you can win your very own Newmark Orbit. So head over to that video. I'll put the link in the description and you can check that out. Thanks so much everybody for your support and for checking out the video. If you have questions for me, you can go to taetro.com/ask. Make sure to like and share this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.
Could've kept things up the way that they were going. Could've tried to look on the brighter side.